Hello everyone, today I'm going to be drawing my TikTok followers OCs. Before we start, I wanted to say thank you for all the submissions. All of your OCs were so cute and I had a hard time just choosing a few. Anyways, on to the video. This is Nanika. She was brought to you by Chori on TikTok. I'm sorry if I I'm sorry if I butchered that. Anyways, I'm starting off with trying to pose the character. I really struggled with this part for some reason. I just couldn't get the proportions to look right. I'm not really sure what happened here. I think my computer tried to implode itself or something. Take 2. Spoiler alert, we don't keep this one. This pose also gave me a lot of trouble for some reason. For this pose, I tried to do a pose where her hand was on her arm. Then I cropped the canvas to reduce the useless empty space. And then I go in and I try to give it more shape. I was really trying to get this pose to work. I was trying to get the pose to work, but it just wasn't for some reason. I even went in with Liquify to try and fix it. I was trying to convince myself that this pose was working. And it wasn't. I finally decided to give up when I flipped the canvas. I deleted it instantly. Take 3. For this pose, I promised myself that I would work with it and I would stick to it, no matter what. My little message just proved how much I was struggling. It was not a good art day for me. I did the same pose as before, except I made it, I don't know what I did to it. It's just better. It's more symmetrical. Here I start sketching Nanika's actual design. I give her those t-shirt sleeves. I don't know at all what they're actually called. And then I sketch in her arms. And then I give her eyes. I tried to make them look very timid. She kind of gave like early 2010s RPG Maker horror game character. So I really based her design on that. And then we move on to her hair. Her hair was very fun to draw. It was very floofy. I like floofy. I really like the silhouette it creates. My art style is largely based on silhouettes since there's no eyes in my art style. Well, I have eyes, but they're just white voids that are drilled into the head. But you get the idea. For the line art, my smartness came up with the idea to chicken scratch the entire thing and completely ruin my wrist. It also took forever, which didn't help whatsoever. Quite honestly though, it was worth it completely. The result just scratched my tiny brain in all the right places. So in my opinion, it was worth it. Out of all the line art I did, I think the eyes are my absolute favorite. They're just so crunchy. At this point, I'm almost done the line art and we'll move on to coloring. So I start off with the background color, which I made a very dark gray. This time around, I decide to eyeball the colors instead of picking it from the original image. I start off with a desaturated green for the hair. Quite honestly, I have no clue why I'm not using the fill bucket tool. I guess that's just me making my own life harder. And then I move on to coloring the skin. There's not much to say about this part. I just take a desaturated orangey yellow color and use that as the skin tone. Eventually though, we move on to the eyes. The solid white wasn't looking so good, so I changed it to more of a gray color. And then I start coloring her white and red dress. And then we move on to the red aspect of her dress. I also wanted to say how much I like the green and how it contrasts with the red on the dress. It's very complimentary and pretty to me. And then I take a desaturated red color and I start blushing her. Blushing is probably my favorite part of the process. I feel like it adds a lot of life to the drawing. And now on to the shading. I do try to speed over this part, since I do go over everything with 2 layers of shading. For the shadows, I use a dark blue set to multiply. I usually do handpick the colors for the shadows, but today I was just feeling a little bit lazy, so... Shading the hair is also one of my favorite parts about rendering. Usually when I'm shading the hair, depending on where the light is, I usually do like a little swoopy per strand. And then I fill whatever I need to fill in with the shadow color. I hope that makes sense. In my mind, it makes like perfect sense to me, but I quite honestly have no idea what I'm talking about half of the time. For the other layer of shading, I use the same blue set to multiply, except I slightly increase the opacity. I don't know if that makes sense either, but I just keep doing that over and over until I'm satisfied with the shading. And then it looks good, which works out for me. This time around, I also decided to not do any highlights whatsoever. I felt it fit since she's supposed to be in a dark room. Anyways, thank you, Chori, for submitting your character. This is the final result. And this is a comparison between the two. If you made it this far, be sure to comment your favorite cat breed. I know some of you like cats out there. Alrighty, ta-ta!